November 10, 2025, Pine-Richland School Board Combined Meeting. Please join me standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please, Mrs. Williams.
Mr. Morissette?
Here.
Mrs. Hillman?
Here.
Mr. Kashani?
Here.
Mrs. Brusalis?
Here.
Mr. Cassidy?
Here.
Mrs. Fortier?
Here.
Mrs. Miller?
Here.
Mrs. Turchick?
Here.
Mr. Weethorn?
Here.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, move on to item 1.02, student and staff recognition. Mrs. Hassinger, please.
Juniors Noah Easel and Alex Goss and sophomore Lily Orellano were selected to perform with the PMEA District 1 Jazz Band following their audition on October 27th. The Honors Jazz Festival will be held December 12th and 13th at Seton Hill University Performing Arts Center. Senior Mateen Hassan has been named a semifinalist in the 2026 Coca-Cola Scholars Program, moving to the next round of the selection process to compete to become a Coca-Cola Scholar and receive a $20,000 scholarship. Out of more than 107,000 applicants from across the country, only 1,238 students were named semifinalists. 94 Pine-Richland High School students were inducted into the National Honor Society on October 28th, the largest class of inductees in Pine-Richland history. A full list of names is posted on the district website. The field hockey team earned its 7th consecutive WPIAL championship on October 29th. And junior Charlie Kapanowski qualified for the PIAA Cross Country State Championship held November 1st.
Thank you. Very good to hear all of the good news for the students. Thank you very much for sharing. Okay, move on to 1.03, recognition of retirees.
That's me again.
Yes.
Tonight we recognize Lil Glasser, Spanish teacher from Pine-Richland High School. Mrs. Glasser is here with us tonight. Mrs. Glasser will retire. Mrs. Glasser will retire in early January after 29 and a half years of service to the Pine-Richland School District. She began her career at Pine-Richland Middle School in 1996 and has taught at the high school since 1997. From 2002 to 2006, she served as World Language Department Chair and was instrumental in establishing the AP Spanish program, which she has taught for more than 20 years. Over the years, she led 6 student trips to Spain, sharing her love of language and culture with her students. Mrs. Glasser holds a Master of Education degree with a specialization in learning disabilities and certifications in both Spanish and special education. Before joining Pine-Richland, she's taught special education. Throughout her career, she has been recognized for her dedication to students and her commitment to fostering meaningful relationships, many of which have continued long after graduation. Colleagues describe Mrs. Glasser as a supportive and thoughtful team member whose spirit and insight have made a lasting impression on staff and students. Dr. Hernandez noted she has always had a positive approach to working with students and supporting her colleagues. She's admired for her humor, honesty, and care for her students' growth and success. Mrs. Glasser has built strong relationships with her students and stays in touch with a number of them from many years ago and has even been invited to several of their weddings. She said, "I will miss the wonderful relationships with my peers in the World Languages Department and the day-to-day dynamic interactions with my students." Upon retirement, she looks forward to taking adult education classes at Pitt and Carnegie Mellon, volunteering at a food pantry and animal shelter, and traveling around the world. She is grateful for the support of her husband of 34 years, Jordan, their children, Ellie and Gabby, and their beloved granddog, Charlie. We wish her all the best in her retirement.
Well, thank you so much for recognizing me for nearly my 30 years of service at Pine-Richland. It's hard for me to believe that I have spent half of my life here. I just want to say a couple of words about how meaningful it has been for me to teach at PR. When I began teaching here, I was 30 years old and still discovering a lot about myself, about life in the United States. I am originally from Spain, and about what it means to be a good and meaningful teacher. I was completely unprepared for some of the incredible experiences that I ended up having because of my work at PR. Just a few examples. In 2005, I went through the process of becoming a US citizen. At the naturalization ceremony, my children, who were very young back then, handed out small American flags to the many people who were becoming citizens with me, along with other friends and families. Near the end of the ceremony, the judge suddenly said that there was now going to be a special surprise for little Glasser, me. I was shocked. It turns out that the judge was a PR mom. Yup. And was contacted by Paula Schmid, who at that time was the assistant principal at the high school. Paula arranged, with the judge's permission, to bring and have members of the Pine-Richland choir sing at the naturalization ceremony for me. Suddenly, a group of peer students began singing America the Beautiful to me in front of the entire courtroom in downtown. It was so incredibly moving. I can tell you that there was not a dry eye in the entire place. Another example of how my time at PR has moved me is the relationships that I have sustained with my students many years after they have graduated. Some have majored or minored in Spanish because of the love for the language that they developed here at PR. Some have invited me to their weddings. I didn't go, though. Yeah. And some have surprised me in other ways, being in contact with me for many, many years after they graduated. One day, a former student came back to the high school to visit his former teachers. I introduced him to one of my world language colleagues who was single. And the two of them hit it off. So today they are married and have 4 beautiful children. So I also became a matchmaker. I have learned so much throughout these 30 years. I am so grateful to have had the opportunity to get to know thousands of young people who made me laugh, made me cry, made me get angry, and impressed me so much. The students learn hopefully from me, but I definitely learned a lot more from them. Finally, I couldn't have done any of this without my incredible world language colleagues at the Pine-Richland High School. They are not only talented teachers and supportive colleagues, but they have also become dear friends. Together we have gone through so much: weddings, births, illnesses, deaths. We have seen it all, and I will miss so much the daily contact with them, but life is what it is. PR has not just been a job for me. It has been an important part of my life and has helped me become who I am today. I know that sounds like something that a student might say to look good, but it's really true. So thank you so much again for this recognition, and go Rams.
Felicidades.
Gracias.
Gracias. Que todo te vaya bien. I'll send you her text when I told you.
Okay.
I told her.
Thank you.
We also are recognizing Brenda Provenzano tonight. She is the Secretary in Pupil Services, and Dr. Paxan's going to speak about her.
So exciting and contagious, Lil's energy. I just love it. Brenda Provenzano will retire after 17 years. A dedicated service to the Pine-Richland School District. She began her career at Eden Hall Upper Elementary School as a paraprofessional, supporting learning support as well as autistic support students within the classrooms. Since 2015, Brenda has served as an administrative assistant in the Special Education and Student Services Department, where she has been an integral part of our team for over a decade. Brenda fondly recalls during the pandemic, one of the students she previously worked with at Eden Hall Upper Elementary School came back to her to share his diploma and discuss his future goals. She reflects on that moment and what she loves most about Pine-Richland. We are a school community that really focuses on student growth and continuous improvement. As an administrative assistant, Brenda has valued the opportunities for ongoing learning and professional growth throughout her career in the field of special education and student services. She especially is grateful for the knowledge gained and in the expertise she has developed over the years. Brenda is a hard worker and a valuable asset to the department. She has an in-depth knowledge of her process procedures. She has been so helpful in supporting students, teachers, and administrators. One of my favorite memories, as per Dr. Gazilla, is Brenda during ESY, when the team decided to surprise her with a few of her favorite treats, which were milk duds, and she just was ecstatic by it. Brenda will be greatly missed in the department. Brenda has been a true pleasure to work with over the years. Brenda has brought a wealth of expertise in special education, with process procedures, legal guidelines, making her an invaluable resource to both colleagues and our school community. Brenda combines professionalism with a warm sense of humor, team building, making her approachable and enjoyable to work with. She consistently demonstrates a team-oriented mindset, always willing to support her colleagues, share her knowledge, and contribute to solutions that benefit students and staff. Her dedication and reliability have made her a cornerstone to the department and the district, and her impact on both the team and the students is deeply appreciated. We wish her all the best in her retirement and the exciting adventures that lie ahead. So thank you to Brenda. She's not here this evening, but a big shout out to Brenda Provenzano.
Thank you, and best wishes to Lil and Brenda. Okay, moving on to item 1.04, recognition of visitors. Mrs. Williams, how many do we have?
We have 9 in person and 1 online.
9 in person, 1 online. Okay.
Our first speaker is Steve Cutlenius.
I was going to say good morning. Good evening, everyone. Tonight I will be channeling my best Mike Barber by giving thanks to so many. First of all, thank you, Pine-Richland voters, for restoring my faith in the political process. Over the last 2 years, the school board has had an 8-to-1 conservative majority. The extremist board had a 5-to-4 majority, and they used this power to push through any agenda item they desired, and also to silence the voices they did not want to hear. Thank you, Amy Turchek. Thank you, Joe Cassidy. And thank you, Mark Cassiani, for not aligning with the board majority. Thank you, Ashley Fortier, for being the beacon of hope for Pine-Richland District. Without you, I have no idea where it'd be today. You showed the voice of reason, compassion, and calmness that shined through the actions of the extremist board. Strangely, I want to thank the religious activists who spoke out 2 years ago to get these books pulled from the library. You are the spark that lit my fire. And I also have a strange thank you to Christina Bersalis, Michael Weethorn, Phil Morissette. You kept me involved because of the way you treated everyone, or how poorly you treated everyone in this process. You made me realize I could not abandon the fight. A special thanks goes to Together for PR for their tremendous effort that they did to keep our community aware of what was going on at these board meetings. We would not have had this election result with all the hard work, time, and effort that you put in. I also want to thank my new friends, Allison Duncan, Rebecca Hoffman, Amy Cafardi, and Sandra Kretz. Thank you for listening to me, helping me to understand how local politics work, and showing me what integrity, decency, and smart leadership looks like. I also want to thank the many residents that spoke at these meetings. They took a lot of time and effort. Jennifer Buse, Brittany Kindersmith, Rebecca Hoffman, Lisa Billhout, Tracy Howe, Mike Barber, Ann Myers, Neela Griffith, Nick Claire Hudak, Chris Bono, Allison Duncan, David and Donna Azor, Amy and Chris Caffardi, Melissa Vecchi, Randy Oxy, Liz DeLuce, and Jessica Taylor. More importantly, I want to thank the kids, the students, Sarah Leteri, Elise Stockworth, John Polino, Ben Ward, Piper Brooks, Madison Deegan, Cameron Bergeron, Kayla Salva, and Matteo Ritelli. Our local story here is a part of something larger. The documentary film, The Librarians, is currently playing across the country at 85 theaters. It will be shown this coming Sunday night as part of the Three Rivers Arts Festival, November 16th at 7:30 p.m. at the Harris Theater. The film depicts how school librarians across the country are on the front lines of the fight against censorship and book bans, often targeted by groups like Moms for Liberty and using school boards to promote their agenda. What happened here at Pine-Richland is part of that same struggle for intellectual freedom. Please go to the Three Rivers Film Festival website to order tickets. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Chris Vins.
Good evening. Chris Vins, Pine-Richland PREA president and a third grade teacher at Wexford. I'm here tonight to set the record straight. There was a letter that was mailed out by Ms. Brsalis last week campaigning for school board. And in that letter, I'm going to read what she wrote about teachers and administrators. She said, "The bitter irony is that while my opponents have been fabricating these attacks, teachers and administrators have actively sought to remove books from classrooms." That's a lie. That has never happened. And to be unchecked on that, and you're looking at me like, really?
Really?
Really,
am.
I would love for you to tell me one teacher that actively promoted to remove books in classrooms. It's never happened. So I'm just here to set it right and also thank the voters for turning out. My phone blew up the next day after the election. People were thrilled. We're here to work with a board, not fight against one. And we're ready to turn the page and get to work. So thank you, voters.
Our next speaker is Elise Duckworth.
Hi there, my name is Elise Duckworth and I am now a senior at the high school. I wanted to take a moment to emphasize how incredibly important local elections are to communities like ours. Over the past year, we've seen community members come together for a cause that many feel is deeply personal. For months, speakers have taken the podium to address the board, an anxiety-inducing task, yet each individual, and I truly mean each individual, whether I agree with them or not, has taken the time to express their thoughts. As a community, we should take pride in how we've stood up for our values, and once again, the importance of local government and representation. As we move forward, I hope we do so with intention. I hope we take what happened in our recent election and use it as a learning experience, an opportunity to strengthen our community, encourage participation, and advocate for every student every day. I also hope we create spaces where students can voice their wants and needs. Please hear this. We want students to voice their wants and needs without fear and judgment. And we return to use the board for its intended purpose to prioritize those same students. Each day, I'm surrounded by the learners, the principals, the teachers, and librarians who make the school what it is, the brilliant minds behind our achievements, from high reading scores to strong arts programs and competitive sports teams. They need nothing more from the board than a vow to advocate for them. Congratulations to the new members of the board. I'm proud of the work you've all done and your willingness to step into an extremely difficult situation for the good of our school and the students. I feel incredibly grateful. One final note, the high school play, The Election, funny enough, will have performances on November 21st and 22nd with a senior citizen show on November 20th. We hope to see you all there. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Tracy Howe.
Good evening. Tracy Howe, Pine-Richland parent. I want to start by quoting directly from our school district website, describing the responsibilities of the school board president. The board president plays an extremely important role on the interpersonal side of the board, monitoring and nurturing positive dynamics by creating an environment in which board members feel engaged, included, respected, and able to make a positive contribution. Mr. Morissette, those are your stated responsibilities. And yet, we have all watched you repeatedly disregard and disparage your colleagues and community members. I have heard you turn to Mr. Wheathorn and call a community member ignorant. I have watched you refuse to look at speakers, including myself, as well as a high school student who courageously shared personal details to make a point. I have listened to you attempt to diminish fellow board members by suggesting they have no experience with how to manage a large budget. I have noted all of this, but have stayed focused on other issues. But on October 20th, when I heard you say, "This should be good," as Mrs. Fortier walked to the podium to speak, that was the tipping point. That remark is case in point why you are not fit to lead this board. Do you think that Mrs. Fortier feels like you have created an environment where she has felt respected and included? Have you reflected on why she felt she had to take such an unprecedented step just to be heard? Ashley, I've said this privately, but I want to say it publicly. I have great admiration for how you have conducted yourself in an often hostile environment. Meeting after meeting, you have demonstrated professionalism, preparation, persistence, and respect for process. You never demean anyone, even when you are dismissed, disrespected, and spoken to with condescension. You have maintained your integrity through all of it. I have spent 23 years trying to instill the importance of these qualities in my kids, and because of you, Elise has been able to see those qualities in action. Watching these meetings with Elise has been a master class on leadership. We have seen the arrogance and the harm of poor leadership, and we have witnessed the power of steadied, principled leadership. Which brings me to the administrative team. You keep this district afloat and moving forward, even when working with a board that has not always respected your expertise. Your extraordinary preparation, coordination among the team, and steadiness has allowed me to have faith that our district would survive this challenging moment. Thank you for all that you have done. And now, with the outcome of last week's election,
Your time is up.
I believe brighter days are ahead for our district
Please sit down. Your
and
time is up.
community.
Next speaker, please.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Brittany Kindersmith. Mike Barber.
Hello, Mike Barber, Richland Road. I just want to say thank you to the community for paying attention, for showing up to vote, for caring about the community, and then voting to reject chaos, to voting to support our educators, voting to actually engage with the community. I expect the candidates that I helped promote, I expect them to engage with the community that they disagree with. Please represent our community like Ms. Turchick did when we had disagreements from the very beginning. She was the only Region 2 representative that was willing to explain every single vote, and I cannot say thank you enough, Ms. Turchick. The community doesn't see your willingness to meet
at a lake and walk with a dad who's very involved. You pushed my stroller because I had to hold one of my kids. You were answering your texts and messages. I just can't say thank you enough for that representation. Ms. Miller, I'm going to turn my attention to you. I hope that now that Ms. Brusalis has been removed and she can't whisper in your ear during votes, that you start relying on your time as an educator. I saw you speak to the retiring Spanish teacher in Spanish. I know that you're a teacher. Please start leaning on that experience when you're going to votes, when you're asking questions, when you're actually engaging with the community. It would be appreciated. And again, I can't say thank you enough to everybody that showed up and voted and spoke at every single meeting. It has been a hard 4 years, shining a light on the chaos that Ms. Brusalis has introduced into this district. So one big thank you for voting ABC. And to Dr. Miller, I can't say thank you enough. I hope that this board works with you instead of just constantly undermines you. Mr. Kashani, thank you for that enlightening financial meeting. It really has helped. Dr. J, Dr. P, thank you. I just can't say thank you enough for riding out that chaotic wave. Hopefully nothing like that comes back, and we can have open, respectful, honest dialogue. Yeah, thank you, PR.
Our next speaker is Ben Ward.
Hello, Ben Ward, senior at the high school. I just want to start by thanking Ms. Turchik and Mr. Cassidy. Your ability to put the students and staff over your own party's politics might have ended to your end of time on the board, but it is like forever. We are forever grateful for what you did. Next to Mrs. Fortier, thank you for always standing up for me and for other students like me. Words cannot describe how grateful I am to you. Mr. Cassidy, thank you for always voting with what you know is right. You've broken from your party many times to vote in the best interest of students, and you have done a great job for the community. So I want to thank you for that. Ms. Brusalis, it has been an honor to be ignored by you for the last year. Forever grateful that you will not be here in the future because the students and everyone in the community has felt immensely disrespected by you and your fellow board majority. Michael Wheathorn, I see the way you're looking at me. You're next.
Our next speaker is Chris Bono.
Good evening, Chris Bono, one kid in the district. I just want to encourage my fellow speakers to be careful you may get hit with a cease and desist order. I want to start by thanking Mr. Cassie and Ms. Turchik for their work and service on the board over the last 4 years. There have been several meetings I have stood up at this microphone and yelled at you, and I still think I was right. But I appreciate you always explaining your votes and taking the time to respond, and in the end, put the best interests of the district over your political party. I think, there's a reason why Profiles in Courage is a very small book. And the efforts you all have made over the past couple of years, as other speakers have said, have been noted and appreciated. So, there's no point in doing this job if you don't have integrity, and you two definitely have integrity. And I just want to, for the 5 carryover board members, I hope that the new 4 will join you, and we will have a very productive board. A return to boring, cutting out the chaos, working collaboratively, not always agreeing, but always discussing, trying to build consensus, and not being divisive. And so it's a new opportunity for everybody who's staying on the board. And so I hope you all take advantage of it. And as much as I would like to have Mr. Morissette tell me my time is up one final time, I will yield back the balance.
Our next speaker, Therese Dawson.
Hello. I would like to thank all of the board members for their service, and in particular, I would like to thank Mr. Cassidy and Mrs. Turchek, Mrs. Brusalis and Mrs. Hillman for the years that you've put in to volunteer your time on behalf to advocate for the taxpayers and the students of our district. So thank you very much for your time, your energy, and your efforts. One of the things that I guess is obvious about our community is there's lots of different perspectives. And that's what makes a community work, bringing perspectives together. And that's why we have a board of 9, so that you can all share your perspectives. So I appreciate the time that each of you have taken to do your homework, because the decisions that you make in this forum affect the taxpayers who pay the salaries of all the teachers and the administrators and allow us to deliver quality education. So unfortunately, when board elections, and any election actually, there aren't a large constituency of registered voters or people that come out to vote. And sadly, not as many informed people in the community in which we live. And once your children aren't in school anymore, you simply just trust the experts. And so thank you for your time and your service. And I just, based on Mr. Vinn's comment, I really, when I ran for the board, I was approached to be endorsed by the teachers union, and I refused to do that. I refused to do that because while I love the fact that we have teachers, without it we don't have school, I think that having an endorsement from the teachers is unethical and a conflict of interest. I think that shouldn't be allowed. It's allowed by most states, but I think that certainly is a lobby effort that we should all consider. Thank you again for your service, and best wishes to those of you who are ready to move on.
Thank you. We have one person online. Mr. Stobiner, if you could call Bree Bear. Hello?
Hello?
Hi, you're on with the board.
Hi, this is Brianna Bear of Richland Road. I'm calling in tonight to thank our administrators and educators for staying engaged over the last several years as this toxic board majority sought to undermine, micromanage, and disrespect you with every action they took. I would like to thank the board minority for showing up and speaking out against this group despite the despicable way they've treated you. I would especially like to thank Ashley Fortier, who was often the lone voice of reason when this current board assembled 2 years ago. The community was watching and showed up to overwhelmingly vote against this majority's political games and shameful behavior. In this first meeting 2 years ago, Phil Morissette arrogantly declared that the community had issued a mandate backing this majority's extremist agenda. To that, I'd like to say to him, Mike Whitethorn, and Leslie Miller, the remnants of this disgraceful majority, that the community showed up at the very next school board election to tell you just how wrong you were. I hope that the three of you remember that for these next 2 years of your terms. Remember that the community showed up to elect school board directors who truly want the best for every student every day, who will treat our administrators, staff, and their fellow co-directors with the respect they deserve, who will take the responsibility seriously and will show up prepared and willing to engage in open, honest discussions at this table. These folks will have a tall task ahead of them, as they will have to work to undo the damage you have caused and work to bring our community back together. They will have to rebuild trust between the board and the teachers to show our teachers that they will no longer be considered the enemy, that we are all working on the same team with common goals to bring out the very best from our students in our district. If I had to thank this majority for one thing, I would thank you for waking people up and rallying the community against you. This board has served as a warning call to our community as well as the surrounding districts of what will happen when political extremists place their personal politics above the common good. Your legacy will be one of division and disgrace. Your consistently reprehensible actions and behavior served as an alarm bell, ringing loudly and relentlessly to bring the community together, bringing your former allies and even campaign director to work alongside your fiercest opponents. To that, I say, well done. I'm looking forward to the reorganization meeting next month, where Pine-Richland can once again have a board that's interested in solving our district's problems instead of creating them. Dr. Miller, I'd like to thank you, Dr. J, and Dr. P once more for being nothing short of extraordinary through this. Your professionalism, competency, and composure helped hold this district together. Your integrity was a shining light even when things seemed bleak. You have all been invaluable through these tumultuous times, and I hope that you are as optimistic as I am that there are better days ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. That's it.
Okay, move on. Yes.
And Brittany didn't get a chance to speak.
Okay, we have time. If she
Yeah,
can.
we,
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot, Brittany. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I had said the end, like whenever.
yeah. We have plenty of time for both.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, bring this way down. Hello, my name is Kathleen Ravati. I'm a resident of Wexford, Pennsylvania, and a taxpayer in the Pine-Richland School District. I just want to start by briefly thanking the 4 departing board directors, Mr. Cassidy, there he is, Ms. Turchek, Mrs. Hillman, and Mrs. Brusalis. It was not all that long ago that the 4 of you were elected to address what was then the community's dissatisfaction with protracted school closures and other COVID mandates, as well as in reaction to what many viewed as a controversial and unwarranted ousting of a very popular football coach. It's worth noting that the then board chair did not exactly welcome the 4 of you with open arms, transparency, and mentorship, which is a fact that many in this community and on this board have forgotten. Nonetheless, I wish all of you well in your future endeavors, and thank you for your service. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of energy, and a lot of work. Now here's where we're going to get a lot of applause, I'm sure. I feel compelled to express my disgust at the behavior we've all been forced to endure at these meetings by certain members of the community, those who seem to recognize no boundaries when it comes to attacking those who hold a differing opinion. We've all witnessed, no secret, insults directed at specific directors ranging from ageism to what I guess we can now call Christian phobia. It's a constant stream of vitriol and hate from the same mouths that dare to lecture us all on inclusion, tolerance, empathy, and kindness. Is that how we should engage going forward? Every other election cycle, whoever gets in, we swing to one extreme or the other, and it's no holds barred. Is it fair to attack and label members of this community on a one-dimensional biased assessment of their character? If the leap to wanting to ban books, certain books depicting what some find objectionable, makes one homophobic, transphobic, then I guess it's only fair to label those who advocate for such books in school libraries as pedophiles, groomers, or adults with an inordinate, possibly inappropriate obsession with the sexuality of minors. Is that fair? Because that's the table we've set in this dynamic. That's the table we've set. I don't like that we've gone there as a community. I don't like extremism in one form or the other, but it seems to be okay from one side of the aisle and not the other. As to Mrs. Brusalis, I'm not a voter in her region. I do not know her all that well. Did not always agree with her methods. But regardless of your politics, let's be clear here, we're not ditching politics, we're switching one side's politics for another.
Your time is up.
Oh, I'm sorry. In any event, you didn't deserve the battering you got. Thank you for your time.
See, it's very nice when we allow people. I think who's up? Who's up next?
Mrs. Kindersmith.
Kindersmith is up next, and when you all speak, everybody lets you speak and you do it, but when someone else speaks against you, you're mouthing off. So it's very interesting to see that. But please, Mr. Kindersmith, come up and speak.
Hello, Brittany Kindersmith, Richland Township. In the spirit of turning the page and moving forward, I wanted to speak tonight and give a shout out to some of the people who I am grateful for in this community. First, I wanted to thank Mr. David Connor, who is my oldest son's homeroom teacher at Eden Hall this year. Mr. Connor has not only poured into my son, who arguably can be an easy student to pour into, but also all of the other students that he teaches. He took the time to write personal messages on all of their report cards, and I don't mean like, lovely to have in class, like multiple sentences about every kid that he teaches. One student I know was so proud of the comments on her report card that she printed it out to show it off because she was so excited. And I think that's a really lovely thing that he did. Next, I wanted to say thank you to people I have learned from in the recent past, many of whom I was not expecting to learn from. Mrs. Turchick and Mr. Cassidy, I wanted to say thank you for teaching me to soften toward people with differing values than me. We might be more able to come together than the last previous years have led us to feel like, I think, in this community. Thank you to the administration and the staff who held strong and stood up for our students in the face of disrespect, doubt, and deceit about your abilities and your intentions. I am so grateful for you. And thank you also to the board of Together for PR, who ran a really excellent campaign, whose end result was the community being able to come back together in the ways that make us proud versus broadening the division sowed by the current board majority. In light of keeping it positive, I'm going to stop there, but I've got some comments about being called a groomer coming at the end of this meeting. Thanks.
That should be it.
That's it. Okay, moving on to item 1.05, correspondence. Mrs. Williams.
The following people emailed the board: Matthew Goering regarding inappropriate social media posts by students, Julie Wosick regarding the lack of attention by board members during the recognition of visitors portion of meetings, Kathleen Madigan regarding behavior by board members, and Sean Benson regarding a student letter received.
Thank you. Item 1.06 is minutes of approval. This is a motion to approve the meeting minutes as attached.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? No discussion. Move to vote. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes. All opposed? Motion passes. Item 2.01, finance next steps. It's a discussion item. Administration Board, we have closing the deficit. Dr. Miller went through all of these, closing the deficits, the and, not the or items in the last meeting. So any questions on that from the board members? All right, moving on to item 3.01, consent agenda. This is an action item. Motion to approve the consent agenda items 3.02 through 3.06 listed below.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion on the consent agenda? With none, we move to a vote. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
All opposed? Motion passes. Moving on to item 4, finance.
Yes, sir. Item 4.01 is a motion to approve the financial reports dated September 30th, 2025, and to approve the accounts payable dated November 10th, 2025, in the amount of $824,226.71, and paid accounts for October, November in the amount of $1,394,298.33 as listed.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? With no discussion, move to a vote. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Item 4.02, a motion to approve budget transfers in the amount of $73,340.01.
Second.
Motion is made, seconded. Any discussion? No discussion. Move to vote. All in favor? Yes.
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 All opposed? Motion passes.
Item 4.03 is a motion to, hold on. Motion to continue Pine-Richland School District's membership in the Allegheny Intermediate Unit Joint Purchasing Board, which will be empowered to make bulk purchases of select items for 2026, with Chris Justwick named as representative and Shaylee Renfrew as an alternate to the Joint Purchasing Board.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion on this? No discussion. Move to vote. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Item 4.04 is just an informational item. First, I don't want to forget to mention that we still have the link to submit questions that will be open until 10 p.m. If you have questions about anything that was discussed in the finance meeting prior, if you listen to that, or anything that you might think of now as we just kind of summarize it, I did want to go back to item 2.01, which is ultimately the slide that we ended the meeting on. And so we had a series of joint governance meetings between finance and other subjects where we really did take a deeper dive into the variables that affect our revenues and expenses. And that's really where the hard work is. That's where our problem lies, that delta between the two. So ultimately, it's not up on the screen. Could you make, yeah, would you mind, Sean? I think that's an important slide.
1.02 or
2.01. 220, 221, whatever it takes. Mr. Mom reference there. It's okay if it's too hard. It is a good slide if you're able to just make a note of that section. Oh, you're back at the finance meeting. Yeah.
Yeah, he passed it.
So, it's okay, Sean. So item 2.01, just make a note of that, go back to board docs and look at that. It is a slide that lists all the things that we have to balance to bridge the deficit, the gap that we have between expenses and revenue. And it's not going to be an or type of thing. It's going to be a combination of a lot of different things. So just note that. Dr. Miller did a nice job in the previous meeting of landing on that slide. So that's where we ended. Now, the next meeting, finance governance meeting, is December 8th. And that's really when we normally start our budget process. So we're ahead of the game here. In that meeting, we will discuss the audit of the prior year's financials, and we'll also start the official conversation about next year's budget. So it's a good meeting. Those who have attended, don't stop. Keep coming. Keep learning. And I think that's it. Anything to add, Dr.
Well,
Miller?
the slide is up now.
Oh,
and,
there we go.
I would say for the video recording, it's about the last 20 minutes. So the last 20 minutes really focus in on this area.
Thank you. And that's all.
That's it? Okay. All right, item 5, buildings and grounds.
Item 5.01 is a motion to accept in accordance with Board Policy 702, gifts, grants, and donations, and with sincere gratitude, donation from the Eden Hall Upper Elementary PTO for the purchase of an outside cedar pavilion to be installed over the existing outside classroom for a cost of approximately $56,000. This approval is contingent upon obtaining the appropriate permits from Richland Township, which are currently under consideration.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion, comments?
Just want to echo Mr. Cassidy's sentiment of thank you to the Eden Hall PTO for making this donation, enhancing our facilities at Eden Hall, and allowing for this to be used in a more seasonal fashion. So thank you.
I agree with that. And it's been a multi-year kind of vision, so this sort of completes that project, so we're thankful.
Any other comments? All right, no comments. Move to vote. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Item 5.02 for board consideration at the combined December meeting. Motion to approve the advertisement of bids for the roof project at Wexford Elementary School as attached.
Okay, moving on to item 6, academic achievement. Mrs. Brusalis.
Okay, sorry, it's moving slowly for me. Item 6.01 is a motion to approve the purchase of library book lists for Wexford Elementary School as attached.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any comments, discussion? With no comments, move to a vote. All in favor? Yes.
Yes.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Item 6.2 is a discussion information item for board consideration at the combined December meeting. Will be a motion to accept in accordance with Board Policy 702 gifts, grants, and donations, and with sincere gratitude, a donation of $100 to Wexford Elementary School from Schweitzer Engineering Laboratories. Item 6.03 is a discussion information item for board consideration at the December combined meeting, a motion to accept in accordance with Board Policy 702, gifts, grants, and donations, and with sincere gratitude, a donation of a STEM learning science bin centered around the Pittsburgh Penguins and hockey. Item 6.04 is a discussion information item regarding the Pine-Richland High School and Middle School programs of study, and I'm going to turn it over to our team.
Yep, I'll take that, thank you. So we do have some of our teachers present here today too, in case the board has any questions. As promised, these are new courses that we're recommending for the 26-27 school year. Our program of studies recommendations will come forward to the board in January for a vote of approval. Once that's approved, then we can put out the program of studies for our students to select their courses. But in the table that's in this motion, you see the 4 courses that we're recommending for next year. Mr. Rickard, I think, is here for music, and Mr. Kaler from engineering and tech. So if you have specific questions about those courses, and Mr. Cawley, myself, we're here for anything else that you want to talk about. On the left-hand side of that table, we have draft versions of the board-approved curriculum for each of those courses for the board and community to see. Again, we're excited about all of them. They align nicely to our strategic plan, gives our students more opportunities to earn college credit while in high school, taking rigorous, challenging courses, and align to a lot of things coming out of our in-depth program review. So good stuff there. You can see on the right-hand side of the table, these are the courses we're recommending to either remove or modify. The Harmony and Theory course is one that we talked about previous to remove and replace it with the AP Music Theory, but as we've kind of dove into this course a little bit more deeply, we see the benefit of maintaining that course as well. For some students that don't have the musical background, that Harmony and Theory course will be important for them to take and then step up into the AP Music Theory. Others can go directly to that course, again, depending on their readiness. And then a little bit lower in the agenda, if you take a look at that, we do have agreements with 2 universities. So one is Robert Morris and one is Point Park. So we have links in there to those agreements for the board and community to see. We will bring those forward for a recommendation for approval in December, and then again the final recommendation for those courses to move forward is in January with the program of studies. So I'll pause there and see if anybody has any questions or comments.
I would like to hear if Mr. Rickard, where are you? You're in the back. You came all the way here. Would you like to share anything about your music theory class? That will be of most importance and understanding to me probably, but since you came here, I'd love to hear if you have anything you'd like to share with us.
I'm just excited that we're going to be able to offer it. Many schools our size offer AP Music Theory. We have not yet. Our current theory class is kind of like an AP Light, so they're doing 3/4 of the work without the credit. So I'm really excited that we're going to be able to, number one, offer AP theory, but also to keep the primer, the theory class, designed for kids who just are interested in it. They don't have to come in with any previous knowledge, where our current situation was not really designed that way. So I think it streamlines that curriculum to a really terrific degree, and something that Pine-Richland music students are going to be very proud for.
That's great. How many, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, I'm going to ask a follow-up.
Oh,
when
yeah.
you're done.
What kind of interest or what kind of class size are you anticipating?
We're hoping to between the two classes, to have a lot of interest. That the fundamentals class, the non-AP, we're really trying to roll open the red carpet and get as many kids involved in that as possible, and hopefully let that be our on-ramp for our AP. Historically, our theory classes have been up and down a lot. We've seen a number of big classes. We've seen some that have been a little smaller. So we're going to promote it and try to get as many kids involved with it as possible. But I'm not sure what that looks like really until we get into scheduling season.
Well, and next year will be a building year, and so as you keep going forward.
Yeah. Because a lot of unknowns. There are a lot of things that they don't have. Kids don't necessarily have the ability to say, "Well, hey, how was AP Theory last year for you?" There isn't that that ramp for them to come in.
The one other intentional thing with that is, as we were thinking about and going through the music program review, we have students obviously that are highly engaged in performance music, but those that aren't but still love music and want to have some opportunities to learn and take a different route through our music program. So this provides them that opportunity as well.
So one of the things we had talked about with Dr. Pasquinelli quite a few weeks ago when we were discussing this class was that, are you still thinking about alternating the years when it's offered so that students who maybe take the dive into music theory can then do AP? Is that going to be a prerequisite, or no, you could do one independently of the other? What is your thinking around that?
Yeah, and one of the things that I learned, I took an AP class over the summer in preparation for teaching this class, and one of the things that surprised me was that the AP classes are really designed to not have prerequisites, which is surprising because of the level that AP gets into. AP Music Theory is a very difficult test. We're certainly open to scheduling. We don't, if it looked like the AP numbers are going to be fairly low, I think we would be certainly open to running it every other year. I think it would work best if we do offer it every year. So it behooves us to promote it and see that we're having an open pipeline for those kids coming in, which I really truly believe the fundamentals theory is going to address. But certainly, I think with any new program, a couple of years of growing pains will probably be able to establish whether or not we're going to be able to run it every year or every other year.
Yeah, I'd say that the course requests drive our recommendations there. So if we're seeing the need for a year with harmony and theory to build enough readiness for students in AP Music Theory, that's a possibility.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I didn't have any specific questions, but I did want to uplift the process and just recognize just the continuous improvement that we do year over year, the work that goes into it, the increase in offerings of college and high school. I'm sure that's exciting for a lot of people. Also to see that it's, moving towards things like cybersecurity and things that are more relevant potentially to high school students entering college or even the workforce. So I just want to applaud all of your efforts and thank you for bringing it to us before the board and also doing the work behind the scenes to get it here. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anything for Mr. Kaler, TV production?
Quick question on as I look at the notes here, it says we anticipate costs related to resources to support the courses. So as we eliminate some and add others, is this a wash or is this additional expense, or do you guys have a?
Yeah, we'll have that update for you in December in terms of approximate cost. So for the college and high school cybersecurity and intro course, there will be resources to support those courses. We already have the software needed for the CHS advanced video production, so we're fine with that. And we are looking at resources for the AP Music Theory, so we'll bring, again, estimates on those costs forward. Staffing, we don't see any implications with staffing.
Thank you.
Not a question, but maybe just something that I just learned, and maybe I should have known it, but the difference between a college and high school versus an AP, I didn't appreciate what that difference might be until I have a senior daughter who's applying to college, and so we expected to have to send her Pine-Richland transcript, but she took a CHS argument class sponsored by the University of Pittsburgh, and these schools are like asking for her PIT transcript. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she didn't really understand sort of the nuance of how to get that. So I don't know if it's just, again, it was just us and our family just didn't understand it, but there is maybe some education that we can do around what those CHS courses are.
Sure, yeah, again, that's an important concept of the AP typically provides a little more flexibility depending on which college or university you're applying for. CHS, there's a guarantee you're going to get credit from that particular institution, but some of them have agreements with other institutions too. So it is a little bit of a case-by-case basis, but it does give you that, in almost every case, a stepping stone into the course request in college, because then you can bypass perhaps an entry-level course and move along. So again, it is case by case, and I agree we can do a better job or even more of informing
Yeah, it was
people.
just the first time. I remember her junior year when she said, "Hey, Dad, you got to pay this $225 a PIT." I'm like, "All right, I'll pay it," but I didn't know what it was really for. Didn't understand
Just
it.
trust me, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So until now, yeah. 220, 221. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Would any of the other teachers that are here like to share anything? I don't want to single Mr. Rickard out, but if you'd like to come up, since you made your, it's up to you totally, but you've made the effort to be here if you'd like to share something.
I'm Maren Kaler, engineering technology teacher at the high school. Sorry I'm not dressed real nice for this. Just pretty much we've been trying to get something here at the high school for quite some time because the facilities we have here match and sometimes have exceeded some of the colleges and universities we've looked at. So being able to match up CHS credit for high school students is just a win-win for everyone here, and the fact that they can get college credits for a much lower cost would be very beneficial to them. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I missed Dr. H. I didn't realize he was still here too, so.
He said he didn't want to speak.
Oh, no, I didn't, that's not necessarily to speak, but our high school administrators, obviously working with our department chairs and through the program reviews, are driving these recommendations as well, so we appreciate all you guys. Thank you.
So just a quick comment, because we don't always have Mr. Karpinski and Mr. Kaler together, but PRTV and a lot of the streaming activities, we have a ton of opportunities for our students to learn producing through their background training and time invested, but then it's a huge benefit to our parents, whether it's an awards assembly or a concert or an athletic contest. It's pretty awesome, and those two guys work together and work with our students, and just seeing them produce different shows is pretty incredible.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Item 6.05 is a discussion information announcement. An academic achievement joint governance meeting is scheduled for Thursday, December 4, 2025 at 6 p.m. The academic achievement and growth report will be presented. Do you want to say anything about that? All right, thank you.
Okay, moving on to item 7, student services, Mrs. Miller.
Pardon me, I was just going to add that to my calendar before I forget. Okay. All right, item 7.01, let's see if it pulls up here for me, is an action and discussion item. The motion to approve the renewal of the Huddle package at a cost of $25,000. Huddle is a mobile web-based application that is used by a number of our Pine-Richland athletic teams.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? Comments? No comments. Move on to a vote. All in favor?
Yes.
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 All opposed?
No.
Motion passes.
Item 7.02 is an action item and for discussion. The motion to approve the pre-employment transition agreement with Life Steps for the 25-26 school year as attached.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion, comments? With none, move to a vote. All in favor?
Yes.
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 All opposed? Motion passes.
All right. Item 7.03 is a discussion and information item for board consideration at the December combined meeting. The motion to approve the translation memorandum of understanding with the AIU for the 25-26 school year as attached. Item 7.04 is an information item for board consideration at the December combined meeting. The motion to approve the attached lists of student organizations and officers for the 25-26 school year and in compliance with the board policy of 618, student account funds. I actually had a question on this. Who Who would I direct that to?
Go ahead and ask,
Just, I'll
and
ask
then
the question.
we'll see what you have to say, and then we'll
See
figure it out.
Who answers that? Okay, so I was looking at these, and some of these are highlighted in yellow, and it looked to me like those were clubs that had graduated seniors from last year. So I was just wondering if you could offer some explanation.
The
of
highlighted
the
ones are ones that have not been updated yet, and those are the ones that the high school would update or middle school update once those have been.
Okay, so they're still in progress, in
Yes.
process?
Yes.
Okay, they're not, so they're still viable clubs, they just haven't been updated with student
Correct.
officials? Okay, thank you. I just wanted to see what that was all about. Okay. Any other discussion on that? Okay. All right. So item 7.05 is an information and discussion item for board consideration at the combined December meeting. The motion to approve the student attendance and application of the student discipline code for the German students to travel to Germany as described on the attached field trip request form. This looks to be like it would be a really amazing trip, November 27th to December 5th. I was reading over their itinerary. It looks phenomenal. And if any other teachers are listening, French or Spanish, if you want to put your bid in for something like this, I would be excited to see that. Item 7.06.
We did just have a group go to Spain.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
They
you.
all go every other year, believe me. They're
Every other
No,
year?
they're traveling, yes.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. Okay. Make sure I'm in the right spot. Fidget donation, that's where we are, right? Okay. Item 7.06 for discussion and information for board consideration at the December combined meeting. The motion to accept in accordance with Board Policy 702, gifts, grants, and donations with sincere gratitude to the Michael Mackey Project, a donation of a fidget basket to each elementary building with an estimated value of approximately $200. So this is very exciting. So where will these be?
Yeah,
go ahead.
Mrs. Miller, I just wanted to say the Michael Mackey Project, that's a student and family in our district. We're so grateful. They dedicated and they created an inclusive, adaptive environment for all students. So they ran a fidget drive and they donated to Watson as well as the Children's Home and Pine-Richland K-3. We are going to directly, as they donated to us, we're going to work directly with our occupational therapist, Dr. Gazilla and myself. We'll work with them and really disperse of the sensory and fidget items.
Okay, so you don't have them yet, is what you're saying?
We do not, no.
Did you get any choice in what kind of items you felt like there was a need for?
We'll work with them. They'll donate to each of the schools a basket, and then we'll see, according to students' needs, how it would best fit.
So are they going to be in the regular classroom? or
We'll work with our occupational therapist, so it'll be based on student needs.
Okay,
Through occupational therapy.
okay.
The
so-
students have to be receiving a service through OT in order
Correct.
to obtain that.
Okay,
if that helps.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying. Okay. Any other comments? I feel like I have a lot of comments tonight. Okay, item 7.07, discussion and information item for board consideration at the combined December meeting. The motion to approve the Wesley Family Services Northco agreement as attached. And item 7.08 for discussion and information. The first school counseling advisory council, did I say that right? Meeting was held on October 15th, and the agenda is included. I'm sure you have some things to share about that.
Yeah, this is an annual update for the board and community. You know, this is a required meeting with our council, made up of staff, community members, board members, students, and again, it's an opportunity to provide input to our school counselors based upon their annual goals. So we presented an overview to the council, shared those goals with breakout groups, received some feedback, and those goals are attached here along with that presentation. After tonight, we'll post those to the website so our board and community have an opportunity to see those. And they're on for the entire year.
Thank you.
That's it?
That's it for me.
Okay. All right, moving on to item 8, staff services, Mr. Weethorn.
Sure. Item 8.01 is a motion to approve the PREA, PRESPA personnel, athletic, non-athletic supplements, and transportation personnel as attached.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion?
Mrs. Williams, I just wanted to point out, I think one of the names under unpaid leave is the reason, I'm assuming it's personal reasons, is not included. I'm wondering if we need to just update that for the record.
I don't think it's necessary to. I mean, if you look at every single entry, we all put them as personal reasons, but I appreciate the call out.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments? With no comments, move to a vote. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Item 8.02 is a discussion information item for board consideration at the December combined meeting. Motion to approve the staff attendance and application of Jean Whalen, Director of College and Career Counseling, to participate in counselor information sessions at the University of Richmond in Richmond, Virginia from Sunday, February 1st till Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026 as attached. Item 8.03 is a discussion information item for board consideration at the combined December meeting. Motion to approve the student teachers as attached.
Thank you. Moving on to item 9, operational services, Mrs. Turchik.
Yes. Item 9.01 is the weather contingency schedule. It's an information item, so Dr. Miller.
Yeah, this is typical, same thing we do every year. The key point for most of our students is the first snow day. If we have one, is a snow day. Enjoy. Okay.
Okay, that's all.
Okay. Item 10, board business, 10.01, 2026 PSBA legislative platforms. We actually have the platform and the handbook attached. Any questions, any comments from our reps?
If anyone had a chance to look through that handbook, I know, Ashley, you had some questions about that earlier. I can direct you guys to the specific pages if you're interested. We had 6 items that we voted on. I have to find my notes. And all of the items that were recommended, they were simple language changes that were presented to us, and there was very little discussion during the meeting. There were about 140 delegates present, and all of them passed with like over 100 votes. But if you'd like me to walk you through some of those wording changes, they're pretty minor, and they were not of great concern.
So that was the only thing that, like, there was nothing added and then
No.
nothing? Okay.
You
so
can,
just minor
and you can
changes.
look at it. It's attached here again. Thank you for attaching it again. And I can direct you. But the recommendations are in, I think they're blue or red, and then the rationale is in green. So it's very easy to maneuver. So there were 6.
Yeah, it
would
was very
say-
straightforward.
I would say the most consequential one would probably be the AI one, which is, I think, the first one that we voted on.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
was language that was proposed last year. It wasn't approved. It was approved this year. And it's regarding AI, that if we're doing assessments and students are having to write assessments, it's asking that the state not use AI to grade written assessments by students. So that was probably the most consequential one. Everything else was either removed because PSBA felt that it had been addressed by legislation. There was another one that there was some wording changes, but in essence, otherwise had remained the same. But that one, I think, is the most consequential one.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. All right, moving on to item 10.02, there will be a board reorganization meeting Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025.
I'm so sorry. May I make one last comment on that last?
Yes,
When
you may
we
go back.
voted for our representative, we had our 2 candidates, and the recommended candidate that I suggested did actually not win. So our new representative is Antonio Paris, and he is from Riverview School District in Oakmont.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, moving on to item 11, meeting closing reports.
Mr. Morissette, if you wouldn't mind, and Ms. Miller, I apologize, we forgot to discuss this at the counseling conversation. I know at our pre-meeting we had talked about opening up the conversation of opt-in versus opt-out. We now have a couple of years of data with that, and wanted to see if you wanted to entertain any conversation amongst the board and with us related to that.
We have a reorganization meeting coming up. I think it's best to do it then.
Okay, we had discussed this prior with Mrs. Miller about talking about it tonight. I just wanted to see if you still were interested in doing that.
I didn't realize you wanted to add it to the agenda. I didn't realize that. You just sort of.
Just as a part of the informational and part of the discussion.
That's something that we can address during our leadership call on December 3rd.
Pardon me?
We can address that during the leadership call on December 3rd.
Okay.
But I appreciate your comment.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. All right, 11.02, recognition of visitors. Miss. Yep, no worries. We got time.
This will just take a second. And to the extent my prior just comments were misconstrued, I don't want a cease and desist letter from Ms. Kindersmith or anybody else. My point was not that anybody should be labeled anything. My point was it's just as unfair to label somebody with one label without knowing anything about them as it is with another. I'm not calling anybody any names. Make sure the Trib guy hears this so this doesn't appear in the print tomorrow. I actually have some comments about the budget, but I'm going to defer those until either the next Finance Committee meeting or when the next board is sat. Again, thanks to everyone for your service, Mrs. Brusalis, Mrs. Turchek, Mr. Cassidy, and Mrs. Hillman from my region. Appreciate it. Thank you. Good night.
Sorry, next speaker is Ann Myers.
Hi, Ann Myers, Valley View Drive. I have one fifth grader in the district. I haven't been up here in a while. Hope you're happy to see me back up here. Wasn't planning on speaking, but as usual, I was inspired by commentary and board behavior. And let me tell you how excited I am to get some new board members in here. I finally have hope that our community might feel safe to me again. If we want to get into community members stooping low, being disrespectful, and not having boundaries, let me tell you about something that happened to me last year. I'm going to be intentionally vague. When I gave public commentary thanking a teacher, that included an anecdote that involved my 9-year-old daughter. And right after that teacher reached out to me and thanked me for saying nice things, I was informed by someone else that commentary was taken and used to further actually disgusting far-right ideals. Because of that, because of the site that posted it, I was, and thankfully only for a short time, fearful for the safety of my family and felt like it was my fault because I came here to a school board meeting in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and gave some public commentary to commend a teacher for being inclusive with my child. It's the fact that that happened to me and my family, that we were used and victimized in that way, is unfathomable to me. You want to call out low behavior, it doesn't get any lower than that. On a lighter note, sort of, I echo the sentiments expressed towards Mrs. Turchik and Mr. Cassidy. Thank you for everything you did. Ashley, you are amazing. I could go on forever, but I won't. The senior admin team, thank you. Also, you are also amazing. Again, I could go on forever. I am in awe of all of your abilities to remain unfailingly professional and to meet and exceed the ever-moving goalposts. To the community, the students, I am so, so proud of all of us for continuing to show up. Thank you.
Next speaker is Brittany Kindersmith.
don't know how long this is, so I'm going to talk a little bit fast. Good evening, Brittany Kindersmith, Richland Township, parent of 2 children in the district who are both known for being voracious readers, a fact that I am immensely proud of. While I monitor their screen time in a way that some may consider fanatical, I am quite lenient about their literature intake. I grew up with less than, and I loved going to the library. No one was monitoring my reading materials, so I read books like Frankenstein, The Shining, and Waiting to Exhale, lent to me by my grandmother, before leaving elementary school. And I think I turned out to be an intelligent, compassionate, involved citizen, even if some in our community find my sexuality to be a moral failing. Recently, my 2nd grader checked out a book from his school that was a nonfiction book about the Bill of Rights. On page 1, sentence 2, while explaining how Miranda rights came to be, it says, in 1966, a truck driver kidnapped and raped an 18-year-old girl. Now, I'm not going to ask for this book to be removed because while I was surprised to see this word in a book that came home from the library with my 7-year-olds, I am capable of having age-appropriate conversations with my children about material they might encounter while reading. However, I would much rather discuss the tender, loving relationship that is displayed in the first edition of Heartstopper than that happens to be between 2 boys, than discuss what rape means with my 2nd grader. As for the insinuation that those of us who support access to a robust and representative book collection in our schools and via our online resources could be considered pedophiles or groomers, disrespectfully, you can expletive off. Saying that targeting books with minority character representation is a racist or homophobic action is not the same as calling people homophobes or racists, which is not a thing I've ever done. If you want to call me a pedophile and a groomer because I support access to age-appropriate books, age-appropriate is decided by experts, not board directors, then I hope that your next campaign is to remove myself and all of my fellow groomers from all the PTO positions we volunteer our time for to serve this district, since we are all clearly such a danger to the students.
Our next speaker is Ben Ward.
Hello, Ben Ward, senior at the high school, and I want to address some comments that were made earlier in this meeting and the lack of anything being done about it, actually encouraging it by the board president. So that's, I wouldn't say that's surprising, but definitely not acceptable. Calling anyone in this community groomers or pedophiles for wanting their children to read books with diverse characters and diverse sexualities, skin colors, it's the real world. Like, we live in a district that is predominantly straight and white. So these students do not get to experience what other cultures or what other sexualities are like. And I think books are one way that many, many students can experience that and learn, because we know that hate is not natural, it is taught. And I think one of the easiest ways to not have hate in our society is by exposing children to other cultures as early in life as you possibly can, right? The younger they are, the more formative their brains are. And the fact that you think showing them a book with gay characters or a book with black people will make them gay at that young of age is, for lack of a better word, stupid. We need to move past that idea and know that exposing children to gay characters at a young age does not make them gay. It makes them accepting and loving and builds a stronger community for students who are actually gay and community members who are actually gay. It does so much more than what you think, and The way that this board has talked about these books, especially earlier this year and late last year, is not true. It's false, and it's hurtful to so many students in this district that might feel excluded because they're a different skin color, or they don't know what their sexuality is, or they know what it is and it's not a straight person, right? Like, we need to move past the idea that exposing children to people who don't think like them or act like them at a young age will make them act like that. It won't. It'll help them build compassion for people around them that might act like that or might look like that or might feel a certain way. So, thank you.
And that was our last speaker.
That was the last speaker?
Yes.
Okay. Moving on to item 12:01, adjourn meeting. The meeting is adjourned. And there will be, the board will meet in executive session following the combined meeting to discuss personnel matter and a student matter. Okay, thank you.